Sometimes a simple personal story can teach us so much about the bigger picture, about stress, about family, and what really truly matters. Today, we've got one of those stories. It's about a blueprint for love, designed not by an engineer, but for one. So let me just ask you this to kick things off. When was the last time you felt genuinely 100% present? I mean, not thinking about work or that email you have to send or what you're going to make for dinner, just completely and totally in the moment. Just think about that for a second, because that feeling is right at the heart of everything we're about to get into. All right, let's set the scene. Our story begins with something I think we can all relate to: the daily grind. We're in Delhi and we're following this dad, an engineer, who's just caught up in that whirlwind of a demanding career and being a parent. His mind is just a constant buzz, right? He's running through this endless mental checklist. You know that feeling where you're being pulled in a million different directions all at once? The stress is high, and finding a moment for yourself feels, well, impossible. He's there in body, but his mind is 1,000 miles away. But here's the thing. While our engineer dad is completely lost in his own world of stress and deadlines, something else is going on. Something's brewing in the background. And that brings us to a son's secret plan. So the day happens to be Engineer's Day, but for this dad, it's really just another Tuesday. He kind of notices his 9-year-old son is up way earlier than usual, zipping around the house with all this energy. But, he doesn't really think much of it. And this just goes to show you how deep he is in his own head. He sees his son acting a little unusual, but he just writes it off as, kids being kids. He has absolutely no clue that he is the target of a top secret mission. Okay, so this is where the story takes a wonderful turn. All that secret running around, it's about to pay off in the best possible way. This is the Engineer's Day surprise. All of a sudden, his son pops up with this huge, beaming smile and says, "Happy Engineer's Day, Dad! Mom and I have a surprise for you." He gets led to the dining table, and what he sees just stops him dead in his tracks. There's a whole brunch laid out beautifully just for him. We're talking pancakes, fruit salad, his favorite coffee, the whole 9 yards. But as amazing as all that was, the food wasn't even the main event. No, the real centerpiece was this. A simple, handmade card with a message that just went straight to his heart. In that one instant, the amount of love and effort his son put in, it all just became crystal clear. And this surprise, it does something profound to the father. It triggers a real shift in his perspective, which brings us right to our next part, a moment of clarity. All that noise in his head, the deadlines, the clients, the constant to-do list, it just went silent. The weight of being the engineer just lifted off his shoulders, and he was just a dad completely filled with love and pride. The stress didn't just fade, it totally melted away. What he was feeling right then, it wasn't just happiness, it was this, emotional well-being. And it's not some complicated idea, it's really just about being present, about letting a simple, good moment recharge your batteries and snap you back to what's really important. And as he sat there with his family, just laughing and talking, this one thought just cut through everything else. This connection, this feeling, this is the real work. This is the project that truly, truly matters. What a powerful, grounding moment. So, what's the big takeaway from this whole heartwarming story? Well, it's more than just a sweet moment. It's packed with some pretty profound lessons. Let's talk about these lessons in love. The dad started to realize that this surprise wasn't just some random thing. His son had been watching him. He'd seen the stress. He'd been listening to all those conversations about being mindful and showing appreciation. And now he was teaching that lesson right back to his dad. It's this incredible full circle moment, right? When you break it down, his son's secret plan was really this beautiful, simple blueprint. First, he observed. He noticed his dad needed a break. Second, he appreciated. He valued his dad's hard work. And third, he acted. He showed his love with a simple, thoughtful gesture. I mean, that's a powerful formula for connection that works for any of us, not just 9-year-olds. A little later, his son said this to him. And those words, man, they were everything. It was validation. It was someone saying, "I see you. I see how hard you're working." And it was coming from the person who mattered most in the world to him. And so in the end, this story is really a toast. Yeah, it's for the engineers out there building our world, for sure. But it's also for the families who are their rock, and especially for the kids who have this amazing built-in ability to remind us to just stop, take a breath, and actually enjoy the moment we're in. And that brings us right back to you. The biggest lesson here is that a huge, life-changing shift doesn't always come from some grand, earth-shattering event. Sometimes it comes from a plate of pancakes, or a handmade card, or just a simple moment of real connection. So, what small moment could you create or maybe just notice that could change the course